And then next day, coach called me in his office. And I was just thinking, this is what changed even my career overseas. Coach is like, you know what? The season's going to be over. That's the one thing he told me. He called me in his office and upstairs. We were talking. He's like, I want you to have a great time your senior year. This is your last year. Just go out there, have fun. Hey, whatever happened is happened. But go out there, have fun, playing hard, push this guy. And that's how it happened.
This is the Sean Miller Podcast, presented by Deer Park Roofing. Now, here's your hosts, Paul Fritchner and Adam Baum, with the head coach of the Xavier Musketeers, Sean Miller.
Welcome into another episode of the Sean Miller Podcast, presented by Deer Park Roofing, as well as the official payroll sponsor of the Sean Miller Podcast, Payroll Partners. I'm Paul Fritchner alongside Adam Baum and the head coach of the Xavier Musketeers, Sean Miller. And today we have another very special guest, and it is Romain Sato, a Xavier legend. And Romain, I think the best way to start this show is to give you the intro that you deserve, because you are a legend around the Cintas Center, and that is to say all of these accolades that I'm about to list off for you. You're a native of the Central African Republic, Mr. Basketball in Ohio in 2000, and a member of the Dayton Christian High School Hall of Fame, where your number 23 jersey was retired in 2021. You're a Xavier class of 2004, Hall of Fame class of 2015. You made 4 consecutive NCAA tournaments, including Xavier's first ever Elite Eight in 2004. You won 2 A-10 regular season championships and 2 A-10 tournaments. You're 4th in scoring at over 2,000 points, 2005. 8th in rebounding at 892. You have the school record for most consecutive starts at 130. You're second to Trayvon Blewett for most threes made in your career at 307. You're tied with Trayvon for the most made in a game at 9. You're tied with James Posey for the most consecutive free throws made at 31. Second round NBA draft pick in 2004. You went over to have an unbelievable career in Europe. 3-time Italian Super Cup winner, 2-time Italian Cup winner, 4-time Italian League champion, Greek League and Euro League champion, Greek Cup, Turkish Cup, and Euro Cup winner, a Spanish League champion and a Spanish Super Cup winner, Afrobasket All-Star, Spanish League All-Star, and the Italian League MVP in 2010. And because of everything that I just said, Romain, you were recently honored as a member of the FIBA class of 2024 in the FIBA Hall of Fame. Not only one of the best players to ever play here at Xavier, but one of the greatest to ever play from the continent of Africa. It is an honor to have you here on the show with us today.
Paul, that's the best.
Thank you so much.
Paul, that's the best introduction you've given someone. Romain,
wow!
You understand, like that introduction right there. He was at the top of his game. So you deserve it.
Thank you so much, Coach. Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you so much.
Well, it's a pleasure. Romain, I feel like I haven't talked to you in some time, and life moves by. But just seeing that smile and being on here today, I think it's one of those situations where in sports, you can go some time without talking to a person. And then when you talk to them, it feels like we were together last week.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna always follow you anyway. So
yeah, man, insane. So I got to tell you, I'm gonna come out of the gates with this story. Yes, when I was the head coach at Arizona, we took a trip to Spain, and we went over there to Valencia, and we went to Barcelona in about the summer of about 7 or 8 years ago. And so we went to Valencia first, and we walked in to have a practice because we were playing Valencia the next night. And I walk in and I look at this wall, and there you were. Your picture was as big as life. I mean, probably 20 feet. Your picture took up the entire wall, and it was because you had won a championship with Valencia. And I looked at the guy and I said, "That's Romain Sato. I coached Romain Sato at Xavier." And the guy looked at me like, "Wow." And I kept looking at the picture, and I don't know if you ever saw it, but I kept looking. And by the way, the guy next to him is Justin Dolman.
Yes.
I coached Justin Dolman at Xavier too. These guys were looking at me like, really? But so that's when I knew. I said, Romain's done some big things in Europe. So I would start with that. Number one, your experience in Valencia. How many championships did you win? And you played on the same team with Justin Dolman.
Yes, sir, we did. Yes, Coach, we did. We played together for I think 1 year together. We won a Euro Cup together. And
Yeah, wow.
it was unbelievable, it's playing with him. When I signed out there, he was there before me when I got there.
Yeah.
So we just changed the cultures. We take like back in the day, we took like Xavier thing. So we start just change the way we play, the way we just push the guy on the teams, and it was great, coach.
Yeah. I have followed your career so closely in Europe through a situation like that where I was over there. And then as I've recruited international players and just different agents, that have represented other players that I've coached, they talk about you in such glowing terms. But I don't know if everybody in the United States realizes what a great honor it is to be in the FIBA Hall of Fame. You must have been completely thrilled.
Yeah, I can't believe it, coach. Even second year, I was just even second year, coach. It's just like it's not
Yeah.
something I never dreamed about it. And when I heard my name called when they invited me to the FIBA thing, I'm still not believing, But it's just
Yeah.
all hard work I put in it, and just trying to work hard, coach. I learned for you, I learned for the school, And
Yeah.
growing up, you just gotta keep working hard, and anything can happen. And I just right now, I feel like, man, it starts sinking a little bit. Like, man, it's just like in the beginning, you start with all this is winning and all that. It's
Yeah.
just not. It's not. I'm not believing yet, sir, coach. I haven't
Yeah.
believed yet.
How
So
many
it's good.
years how many years before you retired did you play in Europe or
I
international?
I played about 12 season, coach. 12 season overseas.
12.
Oh yes, sir. I played 12
Mhm.
season.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long career. So
Yes.
Josh Duncan, he finished in Japan and he played 15 years over there.
Wow.
I don't know if you remember Josh at all. He was
Yeah,
he
I
was
remember Josh. Yeah.
But so many Xavier players have gone over to play in international ball. Obviously, we just talked about Justin Dolman, and
Yes.
they had long, just amazing careers. Justin Cage is another guy
Yes.
that played more than a decade over there.
I saw him. He played in a Belgium league when
Yes.
I get talked to him a little bit. So I mean
Yeah.
it's good to see Xavier got it overseas. Sometimes I run into them. It was
Yeah.
great to see. So guys is going there and playing hard, working hard there. It's great from just
Yeah.
as hard our school. And all these guys and they keep pushing their career overseas. Is good, coach.
So I wanted to ask you a question, and you guys can follow up on me. But for our viewers, you were in Dayton, Ohio, and you lived with a host family. I could see Tiffany and Tom Thompson right now, in my mind, coming to games and supporting you. And you were with them in Dayton, Ohio. Skip Prosser, Coach Prosser was the coach at Xavier. And I know that you had a decision to make, but if you can remember that long ago, I'd love for you just to kind of think about what was the reason that you decided to come to Xavier and in the recruiting process and, the journey maybe that got you to Dayton, Ohio in the first place.
Well, to start with, I was 17 coach in the back home in Africa. So I got a chance to have a change program student. So I accept that, and I didn't know who I'm gonna stay with, but I guess my family, my mom, my dad, Tiffany, my mom Tiffany, my dad Tom,
Yeah.
and they opened door for me. Speak by them, by the way. The house next door is that house right here. I just bought a house here a couple years ago. I fixed it. It just moved in a couple of days ago. So they
Oh
want
my
to move back.
goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
My
awesome.
parents are gonna be my neighbor right next to my house
Wow.
here. Yeah,
That's
so
amazing.
I'm
Yeah.
excited about it. Yeah, so when I came, I was 17, and coach, I didn't speak any English, nothing like that. So
Yeah.
and, I mean, I work hard. My mom and my dad, they just keep helping me through trying to go into school. So and when I came, I finished my junior years and I started my senior years that years. And I will start playing AAU a little bit, and my dad will take me everywhere. Trying to play AAU everywhere and some places. My English is just getting better, a little bit. So Coach Prosser, I think it's Coach Jeff Bottle. I think you know
Yep.
him. He's
Yes.
assistant in the province. I don't know
Yep.
if he's there now.
He's an assistant at Georgetown now. Yep.
Now,
JB.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the coach that saw me play. I think he saw me play, and that's the coach who started to recruit me first. And he sent me a couple letters, and from there I would just, I don't really know a lot about school-wise, so it's a lot of different schools that try to send me letters and all that. But the difference about Coach Skip Prosser, when he recruit me, he never talk about basketball. It's always about academic. He's always like, I won't promise you anything basketball-wise. If you're a good player, he's going to play. And the thing I like about him, I went to all these different schools to visit the big school. And when I went to Dayton Christian, it's a small Christian school. So I feel more comfortable with being around small group and small people. And I feel like this is where I probably help me learn my English and help me go into school, probably get my degree. Because this is what I'm worried about. Come from Africa, you want to have to at least get graduate. Basketball, he said, so that's what I love about Coach Skip Prosser. He always said, school come first. If he come for me, he recruit me. And he said to me all the time, when he come for me, I'm still going to win. You play for me, I'm still going to win 20 games. You don't play for me, I'm still going to win 20 games. So it's never about basketball. So a lot of coaches will coach, if you come for big school, you're going to do this for you, we're going to do this for you, And since I went visit Xavier, and I just fell in love with Xavier. And the way that school is, and I get to meet Sister Rose Farming, and it's just there, and it just changed my mind. And it's like, okay, that's a family place for me to go. I can plan for anywhere, so why not go plan for school like it? And that's where I end up there. And my family is more supportive also. Tom and Tiff, my parents, they've been a big support for all my career, and they always think it was best for me. That's why all their goes about it. So that's why.
So, Sister Fleming, Romain, she looks the exact same.
I know, it's just crazy.
She's 91 years old. She comes to work every day. She doesn't work with our basketball team anymore.
Not anymore.
But she has an office in the Cintas Center. And this summer, I did an event with her, and she still drives.
Wow, 91. Wow.
She works out. I mean, she's one of the most special people that I've met, and I know you have a special place in your heart for her as well. But
man, very special. She's one of the best. She's one of the best.
Yeah. Go ahead, Paul or
Romain. Do you remember the first time you met Coach Miller and what it was like playing for him?
Oh man, Coach Miller was always he changed my life. Coach Miller, I always say that because I don't work out a lot with Coach Miller, but he's the one that coaches like he's always in tons on the sideline. I mean, he was a head coach, so it was very good. And I can remember what Coach done for me is my senior years. We're not having a great years at home, and we're not gonna make it to any tournament. We know we're not gonna make it. One day, Coach, I think we playing GW, we got blown up by 20-something. And then next day, Coach called me in his office, and I was just thinking, this is what changed even my career overseas. Coach is like, you know what? The season's gonna be over. That's the one thing he told me. He called me in his office, and upstairs we were talking. He's like, I want you to have a great time your senior years. This is your last year. Just go out there, have fun. Hey, whatever happened is happened, but go out there, have fun, playing hard, push this guy, and that's how it happened. And when he talked to me in his office, and I got out, and I guess he probably coached. I don't know. He probably talked to Charm or Anthony Miles, but the way he talked to me when I walk out of your office, my head got up there. I'm like, okay, you know what, Coach, you're right. Why am I headed down? Even though if you're gonna make the tournament, that's fine. If you don't, hey, we always gonna have fun. Our senior years is finished. That's our senior year. We gotta move on. And then from there, I feel like our season just switched. And that's what happened. And that's why I know, Coach Miller is there always for us, especially when we play. He's guiding the team. He's always in the head for everything. He's basically running the team all the time. So, I learned a lot from Coach. So, thank you so much, Coach, for just being a big part of my career.
I've told you this before, Romain. You're one of my favorite guys that I've had the pleasure of coaching. And I wasn't the head coach for Romain. Coach Mata was. But that year, Romain, of all the seasons that you've had, you add them up, 12 overseas, playing 4 years in college. So you've been on probably more than 16 teams, and some of those teams you've been on very meaningful. They're trying to win the championship, but
Yes.
if you remember, we were 10-9.
Yes.
You talked about it. GW
Yeah.
blew us out at GW.
Yes.
We were not in sync. It didn't look like things were going to go well.
Mm-mm.
And we played Cincinnati, and you go
Yes.
10-9 and lose that game. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than that, right?
No.
Think about this, and we've talked to Justin Dolman about it, Lionel about it as well. But you win the game, we win the game almost on a last second shot. Lionel
Yes.
Chalmers hit a fadeaway shot.
Fairway. Yes.
And we win, and we could have
Yes.
easily lost. So at the end of that game, we're still 11-9. But from that point on, we were maybe the best team in America.
Yes, sir.
It's amazing. It just goes to show the power of belief, the power of team chemistry, accepting roles.
Yes.
And then I think the other thing, Romain, that you guys learned in that year is the power of leadership. Once that game ended, and really during that game, it was, you know what? These seniors, we're going to ride or die with these guys. They're the heart and soul of what we do. They're the most talented players. They're the most experienced players. What they say go, and we're going to ride these dudes day in, day out, every day. And your will, your competitive spirit, your play, and I think you, Anthony, and Lionel got closer. It was almost like, look, let's bond together, and we're going to be stronger a group if the three of us are one. And from that point on, I don't know if I've seen better leadership or a season turnaround more than that season. It's great. You actually have the picture right behind you, right?
Yes, sir. Right. Yes, sir.
I mean, have you ever had a season like that? Other than
no, Coach. It's just, just the way you talk to us, and I remember you called me in your office there. You just like, man, Coach, it changed my senior years. Basically, I'm playing hard, and I'm not gonna let down, and I'm gonna tell Lionel Charm same way, Anthony, and the guys start following us. All the guys start pushing, and we become like, together. And when we got to the A10 tournament, we're like, okay, we're gonna play against anybody. And from there on, it's when we started.
No question about it.
I think it's interesting hearing you talk about that, Romain, because like you said, Coach, we've had Justin Dolman on this show. We've had Lionel Chalmers on this show. And each one of you has told that story of the GW game from a different perspective. Right. Because it felt like it felt like such a turning point of the season. And then to come out, you lose by 21 to GW, to George Washington. And then 3 days later, you lose to Dayton. But I remember it was either Lionel or Justin saying that even though you lost, you still felt like you were building on something. And then to only lose one game the rest of the way, I just, looking back on that run, which obviously, became a documentary, I think any Xavier fan listening to this looks back at that year as fondly as they do. Romain, what did you feel like in the moment? Now to hear Coach say you felt like the best team in America, but you beat St. Joe's, who at the time was undefeated, right? You go and you win the A10 tournament. Like, what was that feeling like to feel so unstoppable after being at rock bottom just a month and a half earlier?
Well, man, it felt great because since we knew when we got to the tournament, and all the coaches talking, Coach Mara talk. Coach Sean talk, and we got Coach Gross talk. We have meeting with all individual coaches. They let us know the only chance for us to make to the dance, we have to win A10 tournament. That's how it is. So we all believe in ourselves. We're playing San Joe. We always match up well with San Joe, and we're gonna play them the first game. So we're excited because we know every game we play against them is a close game, but we know if we're playing well against them, we can beat them. And we believe in at that time. We say, okay, our chances to get to the dance, we have to win an A10 tournament, or we get to the final. That's how we have in our mind. So from there on, everything switched.
Yeah. Romain, just remember this. Yeah. The A10 tournament, we had to win it. But remember, we didn't have a bye. So we had to win 4 games in 4 days. And at that moment, I don't know if a college team had actually won 4 games in 4 days. Like when you watched NC State this past year, I think they won 5 games in 5 days. But we were like one of the first, if not the first team to win four games in 4 days. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that the A10 tournament was played at UD Arena.
UD Arena, yes.
So we had, we have to win on Dayton's court, and we knew that there was a chance we would have to beat them on their home court.
Them on their home court, yes.
The third thing is the number one team in America was St. Joe's. They were undefeated. They were 30-0.
Oh, yeah.
So you think about it, we had to win 4 games in 4 days. The number one team in America that was 30-0. And then we had to finish by beating the University of Dayton on their home court.
On their home court, in the final, yes.
And you know what? We did it in all 3 of them. And then, we get to the NCAA tournament. And when we finally lost in the Elite 8 to Duke, and as you remember, we could have won that game very easily.
Oh, this is our game,
coach. I remember thinking, I was surprised that we lost. It was, we had this feeling that we were invincible. You can't beat us. There's something in the air. We're an unstoppable force. But yeah, when they beat us, I can remember thinking that was the most amazing run that I may have ever experienced in my life. It was incredible. Really was.
It was great, Coach. And I was thinking about, if we still have Anthony Miles, that game we might have a chance. Because now I have to move out the 4. Don't have to be at the 5. And it didn't go our way, but it's a one ball can move the way we can have a chance. But it's a great run, Coach. I'm just so happy that yours to finish my senior year with the final 8. It's unbelievable.
Right. No question.
Yes.
And then look, you forget that both you and Lionel got drafted, and we would always say this, if you remember, Romain, with team success comes all the individual accolades. All of your goals and dreams, you want them so badly, you get it in this game through winning, and you get them through winning championships and going deep into the tournament. And that's exactly what happened to our team. A team that at one point was 10-9 became invincible. Came within 2 plays of being in the Final Four.
Final Four, yes.
And, two guys from the same team get drafted, which was, incredible. So, hey, I want to bring one thing up because, sometimes on this podcast we have a lot of different listeners, young players, we have international players, agents, coaches, etc. But I want to bring you back to your career at Xavier, and you tell me if you remember it this way.
Okay.
Every time that you would start the beginning of the season from your freshman year all the way to your senior year, you would have some very good games in November and December. You would. You were a terrific player. But if I would compare all of your numbers in November and December to after Christmas, January, February, March, it was like you would always go wow, the Romain is so much. Look at his shooting numbers. Look at his scoring. It's like, wow, he's up. His numbers are up. His numbers up. Do you remember that? Do you remember that being the case?
Yes, Coach. I remember that. Well,
one time we actually talked to you, and I think it might have been the same thing. Your senior year, our team struggling. It wasn't like you were struggling, but we knew you had more in you, and I think we had a conversation with you. And finally, it was just like, okay, let's really look at what is it that we can do to help him. So we were talking, and I remember you saying this. Coach, one of the things that's hard for me in the first semester, as we get into November and December, it's close to final exams. And it's the end of a first semester.
Yes.
And, English isn't my first language. So when I read and when I'm doing my work and I'm preparing for exams and I'm doing these papers, sometimes it takes me 2 and 3 times longer, if not more, than a regular student. So I barely sleep. I remember you saying that I don't get good sleep and I'm stressed. And as soon as I leave practice, I'm working because academics was so important to you. And when you said that, I was like, I can't believe it. Wow.
Yeah, Coach, it's hard because you're right, because in the beginning, we wanted to get your grade better, to be able to play, and you don't have to take so much time, study table and all that. You want to get on the study table. So you have to make sure you get your grade better in the beginning. It's never easy because first semester is always you gotta work hard to keep all your grade up. And then second semester, when you got a break for Christmas, now okay, you can take a break. Okay, I got a couple week off, and I can be able to work on my game. And now my game will go up because the school, like, I'm done with my work now, so let me focus a little bit on basketball. And then that's what usually in the beginning of the year is always hard for me because, like you said, Coach, it would take me probably 2-3 hours to write a paper for 1 hour. I can do it in 3, 4, 5 hours because I have to go through so much. Now this technology is so easy. Everything is people
Right.
can just Google anything to do. Back in the day, we had to go in the dictionary and look at this and look at this. It's a little bit hard. But hey, if I go back, I can do it over again. I can do it again because it was
Yeah,
great. So,
no. I
yeah.
mean, but it's a remark. So,
Yeah.
sometimes as a coach, you learn lessons from your players. And look, during that year that we've talked about, I still today have so many lessons. When a team struggles and right when people are ready to give up, I think about your senior year. And it's like, okay, what are the things that we can do to get back on track and to finish strong and to reinvent ourselves and to do different things? And, but I also, anytime that I have an international player, I always remember what you said. And that is, from an academic perspective, just remember that English isn't the first language. It's going to take them a lot longer. They feel pressure in a different way academically. It's not necessarily not being able to do the work. It's the toll that it takes to how long it takes and how much more they have to put into it, So, that helps you be a better coach because here for a long period of time, none of us completely realized how much time it was taking you,
Yeah.
And by the way, how many languages do you speak right now?
I mean, I put more Spanish in now, Coach. So,
So
I speak Spanish and Italian too. So I got Italian to me. I'm probably 7, 8 language right now.
oh my God. Isn't that amazing? It's
Yes,
incredible, right? But
because
again,
yes,
but it's so important for a coach to realize somebody like yourself who's incredibly bright and competitive and driven, and academics is really important to you and your family, that you speak 7 or 8 languages. That doesn't mean that school's easy. I mean, when you're trying to do things in a different language, the pressure that you feel and the time that you spend is enormous. So, wow, that's amazing. Have you guys ever met someone who speaks 7 or 8 languages?
Absolutely not.
No,
Absolutely not.
no, it's very
I mean,
impressive.
my wife she's a second generation Mexican, so she speaks Spanish. And when we went to Spain, I lived in Spain for 5 years. I have to learn Spanish, so
Yeah.
all my kids are fluent in Spanish.
Oh, wow.
When I live in the Italian league, I have to learn Italian. So I have to learn all that to get by. So it was
Yeah.
great. 'Cause
It really is incredible, though, isn't it?
It is.
Yes, sir. It is.
Coach, I got one for you here. So
Yeah.
I think it's very well documented how beloved Romain is. And a lot of that has to do with what he did on the basketball court. But I also think there's this very interesting thing, and I think I talked to you about it. It might have even come up on a podcast, but like Romain, the version of Romain that we're talking to right now is this like super nice guy. He's outgoing. You could search far and wide for someone who has a bad thing to say about Romain, and you would never find him. Can you describe what happened when he put on the jersey and he stepped onto the court? How did it change?
I use him as an example quite a bit during my time as a coach. And I would say this, that if I say who's number one, like the best in this of all the players that I have been around coaching, I would put him at number one in that.
Thank you, Coach.
He's the nicest person, a gentleman, somebody who's spiritual, takes academics seriously. He's a teammate. He lives his life to a very high character standard. But I'm here to tell you, when the jump ball goes up and he's playing basketball, he is the nastiest, meanest, most competitive. I mean, I'm talking about like, it's like, at first, you're like, God, is that the same guy that I was talking to before practice? And you know what? If we have a disappointing loss or he doesn't play well, he may be disappointed for a minute, but it won't take him long. He'll get back, and off the court, he's the same guy. But on the court, man, he is a vicious competitor. I mean, you know that, Romain. That's a trademark coach. Any coach that's coached you would say that about. And I would just ask you, do you talk to your kids about that?
Not much. My coach, my son has started getting a little bit. He saw a couple of my games, some of video, and
Yeah.
you see the different a little bit. But this is what I say. I say, I will be your friend off the court. We'll be friends. We will joke. We're gonna do everything fun. But
Yeah.
when the ball up, it's a friendship. It's gotta be in a way and let. We're in the business. They take care of business first.
Yeah.
So
No, you're
it's fun.
the greatest that I've ever coached at those two things: the gentleman off the court, but an amazing competitor on the court. So,
Thank you,
Romain,
Coach.
this guy Adam Baum loves the sport of golf more than any person in the world. Like, he would play it every day if he could. And you've become a great golfer, huh?
Yes, Coach. I'm okay.
Now, you've been playing a long time. You've been playing a while, huh?
I've been playing for a while. Yeah, last 7 years, I'm be very good. I got a low handicap, so I play a lot. I used to play at least about 3-4 times a week.
Yeah, that's
All
good.
right.
Well, I'm just
what's
getting
the
into it.
handicap?
I'm a terrible golfer, but I'm starting to get into it. So next time we're together, and we got to get the weather right wherever we're at. We got to go golfing. Okay.
Oh, that'd be fun, Coach. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to play with you. That'd be fun. What you say, Adam?
What's your handicap?
I'm a 5 handicap.
All right. He's legit. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. I know.
Romain, I want to ask you about your career here in Europe and
Yes.
looking down last night. So when I was putting that intro together and I was reading about your career and all these different teams that you played at the highest level. I mean, you're talking about, Barcelona, Fenerbahce, Valencia, Panathinaikos, all these teams among a bunch of others.
Mm-hmm.
What was it about you and the teams that you played on where everywhere you went, you won? I mean, you played for the best of the best at every level. It didn't matter what country you were in. It didn't matter what level you played at. You won with basically every team you played for. What was it, personally and as a team that you felt like you found that much success?
Well, I started with Barcelona. When I went overseas. First of all, when I got drafted by San Antonio, I didn't get a chance to play here. So I was a practice player for almost 6-7 months. But that time, nobody got hurt. We got San Antonio got lot of guards in my spot. Bruce Bond, Team Dunk, Manu Ginobili, Brad Brown, Bradbury. So that spot, we don't have any room for me to go, be able to play. So I would just practice play. I travel, I do everything in the team. But after that years, I felt like, I wanted to play. And I was an injured reserve. So when I went overseas, I'll be in the second division. I just told my agent, give me somewhere I want to play because I've been playing a year, so it's hard. And that's why I started. And I played by 5 months in the second division. Barcelona picked me up. So I played playoff with Barcelona. And then from there, I learned, okay, to play with big team, I went to Barcelona. So I learned, okay, Barcelona is one of the biggest teams in Europe. So, I learned from them there. I thought they were going to resign me. They didn't resign me, so I went to Siena. So I went to Italian League. And then from there, when we got there, the team was in the first division before, but they dropped to the middle. So by let's say the first division, we got there, we started just, raise the team up and we start winning. And from there, it just become winning season. So we won everything there. And I felt like I wanted to take the step up and end up, Panathinaikos and came and offered me contract. So I went to Panathinaikos and there, it's another level. Playing with one of the best coaches in Europe, Bradovic. So be with these couple of guys, it's one of the best team. And Europe, when you play a big team, is all their mind end of the year is winning. So you gotta know when team you going, it's gotta be winning team. You gotta go work hard to help the team win, and that's how I felt like I did my career overseas. Just whatever, I'm a blast. This is one thing I can say. A lot of guys don't have a chance to win every country they're beating, but I won everything everywhere I've been. So I'm a blast. God got my plan, and then everywhere I go, it's just fun. I got a lot of group of guys, a lot of my teammates. It's all guys, we're going. And I'm one thing coach know about me, I'm always push the guy. When I'm there, I don't care if it's a practice or whatever. I'm going to raise the guy's level to, we're going to play hard practice and what we play in the game. And I feel like a lot of team I've been with a lot of coaches, it just is raise the level because I'm a pushing the guys gonna push themselves. So we gotta keep just to have a chance to win. We have to go up there, and even the same way when I will talk about it, couple guys in the news, in the media when I got to Valencia, they said we don't win here. That's the first thing they told me. In the Spanish league, it's a Madrid Barcelona. That's all. That's how it is. If it's not Barcelona, it's Madrid. So Valencia, they'd be like, oh, we don't have no chance. And I said, my goal when I get to Valencia, I said, I want to win a championship. The guys laughing at me. And
you won 2 championships at Valencia?
I won 2. Yes, I won a Euro Cup at Valencia, and I won the 30 years, coach. First championship in the Spanish league in 30 years. I mean,
that's why you're on the wall.
Yes, sir. That's what it is, coach. Because nobody believed it, and I mean, when I was with Doman, we got to the semifinal, and we just need that one push, or we never got that push. And Doman left me. He left me, and he went to Barcelona. You know, I love the way because you can't have a chance to go play for Barcelona. This is one of the best clubs in Europe. So, and he left me, and I'm there, but we still pushing. You know, so we went in 2017. We got the same way, coach. That's the one of the toughest because we have to be Baskonia. We go through Barcelona first. We had to beat Barcelona in the first round. We beat Baskonia in the second round, and we beat Madrid in the final. So, so it wasn't easy, but that year is just one of the best years for us because we've been in 3 finals the same years in Valencia, and then now the guys believe it, and that's the years I end up retired there, coach. So,
Coach, you mentioned Coach. I'm going to mispronounce his name, Romain Brdjanovic.
No, Obradovic.
He's a very good coach.
No, man, he's a genius. He's a genius. Yeah. I mean, in Europe, he's a genius. You know, he's the guy. You know, I played 2 years for him. I mean, I played against him when I was in the Siena, and when I got to Panathinaikos, he wanted me to go into Panathinaikos, so it was great for me to go be able to play for him. And I learned a lot for him. It's just like I learned for you, coach. I mean, he's a guy like you.
No.
So it was great because I would just say I'm always lucky because when I play for you, I play for Coach Matt. And I mean, when I play from Coach, I only played 1 year's coach skip process, so I learned a lot. He left after my freshman year, so playing for Coach Mara and especially you and Coach Gross, you are just one of the type of coach. You are just always we can do better, So every game, every practice, we have to take a step. And I think, Coach, one thing I love about you also, you always we do the drill, is a ribbon drill. You never put me in. It's the only I will always get to rest when we start doing the river drill. Coach is
I would say this. I was like, you don't have to worry about Romain rebounding. Stand over there. Let these other guys rebound.
I never get to do it. It's funny because all the guys out there pushing, fighting. Coach is like, no, you're not going in. I'm over there chill for 20 minutes. The guys doing the offensive rebound drills. It's one of the best, coach. And that helped me a lot overseas. I was one of the guard, like a top guard and rebound overseas because just what you do to me and it helped me a lot, coach. Thank you so much.
No, but your rebounding at your position is one of the things that make you such a winning player. When you think of guards, you don't think of rebounding, but when a guard can rebound the ball like you, it just gives your team such a big advantage, and just,
The Sean Miller Podcast is proud to partner with Deer Park Roofing, a company that's provided elite service for homes and businesses since 1996 and leads the industry in professionalism, quality, and responsiveness. Whether your needs are residential or commercial, like the outstanding work on the Cintas Center, the home of Xavier basketball, Deer Park can handle any job and ensure it's done right. Deer Park's motto is protect what's important, and what's important to you is important to Deer Park Roofing. Visit deerparkroofing.com. The Sean Miller Podcast is proud to partner with Payroll Partners, where you're not just a number. That means providing a best-in-class HR and payroll experience that was built on award-winning technology and live support customer service with a dedicated payroll specialist who's just a phone call away. You shouldn't have to choose between technology and customer service. At Payroll Partners, you get both. Payroll Partners is locally owned and operated by a proud Xavier alum. Visit payrollpartners.net. That's payrollpartners.net. Welcome back to the Sean Miller Podcast. Coach Miller, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, so Romain, we've been trying to get you on this podcast for some time, and it's not easy with your family and all the different obligations. And what we really wanted to do is get you here in Cincinnati to be in person.
Sure.
But we weren't able to do it, so we had to do it here remotely. And the reason why I bring this up is this, that I want to be the person, the coach, to be able to tell you that we're retiring your number at Xavier, number 10. It's going to be in the rafters. Yeah. And there's never going to be anybody that wears number 10 again.
No, yeah. Coach.
There's nothing that I've done other than I'm grateful that I'm the person that can give you this information, but you earned it. Your statistics, your winning, your charisma, academically paving the way for international students. The impression that you left on this program is forever. And there's no greater honor that a university coach, an athletic department, or a men's basketball program can give to a player than to say, your number's retired. And I'm so happy to be able to tell you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Coach. And I was just always thinking about, you told me a couple years ago, you said, long as I'm a coach in Xavier, nobody wear your jersey, because you always told me that, Coach. You told me, I said, long as I'm a back in Xavier, coach in Xavier, nobody will never wear your jersey. Thank you so much, Coach. Man, I don't know what to say, Coach. I'm speechless.
Yeah, well, look, we have, and just so you know, we have a committee of people. This wasn't my decision. Hey, my vote, you know the vote that I said, of course, because, again, when, Paul, you read it, you read the statistics and the impression that he's left on all four teams that he played on here. But Romain, it's also what you've done since you've left here. I mean, to be in the FIBA Hall of Fame and win all those championships in other countries. But you represent Xavier in such a unique way, and we're just so happy that you're one of us. And the next phase, you just got to promise one thing, that you and your family, at some point, we can get you here for a game, and we can walk you out to half court, and you can get the proper reception to officially retire. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Coach. I can't believe that.
Yeah, well, you deserve
it. Man, Xavier is my heart always, Coach. It's like, this is always my heart.
Yeah.
My mom definitely just got her doctorate in Xavier too, so she's a big Xavier fan too. So it's unbelievable. For me, it's always my home, Coach. Wherever I go, I always know that's where I grew up, and learn for you all, learn for everybody. Xavier wise, it taught me a lot just to be who I am, not only basketball player wise, but like off the court, and become who I am today, Coach. It's just, I don't know what to say, but thank you so much, Coach. Appreciate that. Thank you, guys. All.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're I think all of us are honored that we can be the people that say that your number's retired, but everybody at Xavier believes that that's the case, and I'm glad that we were able to do it. Okay.
Thank you so much, Coach. Appreciate it.
By the way, that's why we've been so hard at it. Romain, we got to get you on the podcast.
Coach, I was supposed to be a long time ago, but I was overseas for like a month. So I just got back last week on Wednesday. I got back last Wednesday. So
okay.
That's why. Sorry about that, Coach. It's a privilege for me to be part of your broadcast, and a privilege for me to go, be able to get my jersey retired for Xavier. I mean, I don't know what else I can say, Coach.
Yeah, well, as you know, you're in great company. David West, who is a teammate of yours,
yes,
up there.
Yeah.
Tyrone Hill and Brian Grant, two Holloway and Trayvon Blewett have recently been inducted as well, and their numbers being retired.
Wow.
And I'm so glad that you're a part of it. You deserve it, and you're up there with Sister Fleming.
Yes, thank you, Coach.
Her number's retired too, as you know.
Yes, sir.
Romain, congratulations. And as I've said on the last couple of jersey retirement shows we've done this summer, on the women's side, we retired Amber Harris and Tashia Phillips. And on the men's side, we retired Trayvon Blewett, Tu Holloway, and now Romain Sato. And we announced earlier this summer that we would have kind of a string of retirements, a series of retirements through the summer and the fall. And Romain, you were the last one here in this series of jersey retirements that we were to do. So your number 10 will go up there. And, I think the bar has been set pretty high for any Xavier player to ever, going forward, get their jersey and their number retired. And you all have set that bar and that standard at a really high level. So congratulations, Romain.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You earned it, Romain. I'm happy for you, man. You're, I think I've met you one time and you made a lasting impression. So. Oh
man, thank you. I don't appreciate that.
Yeah. So, for everybody listening, again, I'll say it again. We don't have a set date or time. Obviously, Romain just found out about this. So whether it's this season or next season, whenever it is that we can get you here, Romain, and to do this the right way, we'll make sure that that ceremony is everything that it needs to be. But congratulations again. Anything else, Romain, before we sign off the show today?
No, nothing much. I just wish his coach good luck this year, Coach. And I know you're gonna. I know Big East is not easy, Coach, but you got this. I'm gonna be following you, and I'm a supporter always, Xavier, and then we just wish you all the best, Coach. Good luck for the season.
Well, I can't wait to see you up here for a game. Okay,
yes,
we gotta get you up, and we'll make that happen. And I'm really looking forward to meeting your family as well. So, and tell Tom and Tiffany that I said hello. It's been some time since we talked.
They're on the way home right now. They're going back to Dayton tonight, so they're flying back tonight. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, I hope to talk to them too.
Okay, thank you so much, Coach.
Congratulations again, Romain. Thank you to everybody for listening to this week's episode of the Sean Miller Podcast, presented by Deer Park Roofing, as well as the official payroll sponsor of the Sean Miller Podcast, Payroll Partners. We will see you next week. College basketball season right around the corner. Tip-off not too far away. We'll see you next week. For Sean and Adam, I'm Paul, signing off on the Sean Miller Podcast.
This has been the Sean Miller Podcast, presented by Deer Park Roofing, with your hosts, Paul Fritchner and Adam Baum. Join us again soon for another episode with the head coach of the Xavier Musketeers, Sean Miller.